I teach a class on human evolution, and one of the things we look at is the coevolution of humans and their technology. And so these are some of the earliest stone tools. They're from North Africa, and you can see that they were very simply made with chips, very large chips taken out of the side, and leaving more or less of a sharp edge along the side. So these would have coincided with the beginning of human brain size roughly doubling. We've been bipeds for about 4 million years, but then suddenly our brain doubles and these stone tools appear. Notice also that in addition to these being functional devices that could be used to chop through some bone and get into the marrow inside, they also have some decorative elements. So these were chosen specifically for the stripes on the stone, and you can see it following the line of the blade there, and the overall look is pleasing. And so that's another human thing that coincides with the doubling of brain, is the beginning of an aesthetic sense. So to provide food for a brain, it was necessary to make tools, and to make these tools, you needed a really big brain. So once the process gets going, the tools get a little bit bigger, so a little bit better. So if these were maybe 2 million years ago, this would be about 1 million years ago, also from Morocco, North Africa. And so this could have been used to cut all the way through a elephant's hide and through the large leg bones inside and get to the marrow, again, feeding the large brain that was needed to use a tool like this. You can actually see which way it was up on the desert floor, because this is lighter, so this would have sat this way up when it was found, and it probably sat that way for all of 1 million years. As humans became more populous, this would have been really Homo erectus, so I'm using the word humans loosely. As our ancestors became more populous, they would have had to starting to compete with each other for their kill sites. And so I have the hypothesis that they used some of these later tools, particularly these S-shaped ones. You can see how it has this sort of S-shaped curve to it, as throwing devices, and that these were used as competition with other members of the genus Homo. And we would have basically seen a dead animal out on the Serengeti, seen the birds circling over it from miles away, and then started jogging. So our bipedal ability would have gotten us there pretty easily without a lot of energy expenditure compared to other animals. And if there were other humans who were already there, we could have used our big brains to create these weapons. And so, in my opinion, these were throwing tools, and you can see where the thumb would go and sit right here along the edge of it. And some of them were very fierce looking indeed, so you could really hurl this very quickly. And so I have some of my own research where I've looked at these and compared them to a baseball. And the hypothesis is that since a baseball is thrown, and I think that these may have also been thrown, that if these are as good as a baseball, then at least they could have been thrown. It doesn't prove that they were, but it shows that they could have been. And this explains a lot of the aspects of these tools. Why are they sharp all the way around the outside? Why not make something that is dull on one side and pointy on the other? But by having a sharp edge all the way around, these become sort of like a ninja throwing star. And they would not have been especially effective for hunting, but against another human, particularly a naked human, there wouldn't have been a lot of protection. And so this would have done a lot of bruising and lacerations against another human being. So I think these were weapons used in competition over food resources. So in the beginning, it was just access to food resources. You can see the beginning of some aesthetic values through to probable actual weapons. Now, this is generally